Welcome to EntreProgrammers Podcast, the podcast for developreneurs, the podcast where you get to be a fly on the wall listening to real conversations of three developers trying to tackle the challenges they face as entrepreneurs.
And we are live.
2 minutes early. Woo! Yeah.
That never happens.
No.
I know.
And no technical difficulties. Wow.
Yeah, it's like 3 minutes of Chuck fiddling with his mixer, and then we hear you now, and then we get started.
I'm sitting down again today. I've been sitting more ever since I started doing every morning 5 miles at 5:45 a.m. So
Wow.
Yeah, that takes it out of you, I imagine.
Yeah.
So I'm actually, one thing I realized. So I have pretty tight traps, and I was reading. It's possible that working at a standing desk makes that worse. So basically, if you sit, your hips are screwed, and if you stand, your shoulders are screwed. So I'm trying to lower my desk a little bit, because my shoulders tend to ride up like this while I'm working. So
I see. Yeah.
And so you're shortening that muscle up there, the trap, your upper traps. And
Yeah.
I've got massively over tightness up there. So
Yeah, I know it's the same thing, that I would start to get like pain in the trap, and the lower part of the trap after standing at the standing desk for a while. So yeah.
always something.
The only solution is to like I guess maybe we got to sit on those exercise balls.
Oh, there we go.
I have one right here, and I have sat on it before.
Yeah.
But that still screws up your hips. So basically, the pine box is the solution, guys. Put me in the pine box. Put it in the ground.
I give up. That's it. Pine box me. Well, I was on NetRocks yesterday.
Oh, cool. Nice.
So it comes out next week. We were talking about finding a job. So promoted the course a little bit, which was really good. I think I'm going to start pushing that through a little bit more. I have 2 more sessions that I'm doing. One of them's next week, which is kind of.
Uh-oh. This is our payback for starting early.
Yeah.
Chuck freezes. Oh,
yeah.
Chuck's gone.
Complete system failure.
Yeah, Google just randomly signed me out.
Oh, okay.
Nice. Oh, okay.
Oh,
Nice.
shoot. Sorry, Chuck. I just signed in as you, so that's
Good timing.
Yeah.
So Chrome is no longer. I cannot click links on my Mac. Any link I click now from any application opens a blank window.
It's not just me. Good to hear.
Oh, really? Okay, so you too. Okay.
Yeah.
Okay, so it must be a Chrome. I'm thinking it's a Chrome issue, and they'll fix it soon, hopefully. Yeah, because like I click a link in Slack and just boop, opens a window, just random window, and it doesn't actually open the site. So it's really annoying. I've been copying and pasting links all day.
Yep, I've done that a couple times this morning. So good to know it's not just me.
So Chuck, you were saying you were on NetRocks.
Yeah.
And a couple
So
more.
we were talking about the stuff from the Finding a Job course, and anyway, it went really, really well. And yeah, I'm really looking forward to getting some traffic. So I need to get I basically need to get ready for the traffic that's going to come from that show, because I have a landing page up, but yeah, I need to make sure that everything else, all my I's are dotted and my T's are crossed.
Yeah. I wouldn't be too concerned about like a big spike of traffic. Like, it's just as long as you've got the landing page and stuff, because in my experience, you would expect more traffic from a .NET-ROCKS interview, but even it doesn't seem to be much at all. Like, because I've been on there probably like 3 or 4 times promoting different things from my book to how to market yourself, and I barely saw a not that it's still a good idea to do, but because But
Yeah.
yeah.
I already have the landing page up. I just need to make sure that when they get there that they can buy easily and get everything that they need.
Yeah. Yep.
Because I do expect to make a few sales off of it, and I don't want it to look like it was it was amateur hour when Chuck was on.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah.
So, yeah, and then I keep getting asked about the Ruby Rogues kerfuffle from 2016, and I'm kind of tempted to just do some videos or write some posts and just say, look, this is what happened.
Yeah.
I don't know. I don't know if I
So
really
you've
want
got-
to dredge all that crap back up, but
Yeah.
Well, what if you did? What if you did like an FAQ page or something? Like, didn't really don't publish it to your blog, but have it available so you can just send people there if they're wondering.
oh, I see. So it's kind of an
Okay.
page that people can hit.
Yeah.
I don't know. I kind of just want to get it all out there and then just be like, look, if you really want to know, go Google it.
Okay, so I would handle it one of two ways. One is either completely ignore it. Do not bring this back up again. Do not drudge up the
That's
past.
what I've done today.
Just get past it. And just like, just don't provide answers. Don't say anything about it.
Right.
The other one, which I'm more excited about, would be to have a dramatic reenaction of the entire
that
thing
would be
that
funny.
you put on YouTube, wig and all. Like you put on a wig and you'll have to cut scenes.
Oh,
I
man.
think transgender people need to be better represented on Ruby Rogues. And they're like, no, you are an evil whore. Just make a very dramatic reenaction, a sarcastic one, and that'll be a hit. That'll be. I'll watch it. I'll watch it.
Oh man, that would be funny.
Chuck will
Talk
get
about-
death threats now. Why should we? Why should John be the only person getting death threats?
Yeah. Do you actually get death threats?
I've gotten a few, but yeah.
Oh, that's ridiculous. I know. The thing is that I know that some of it's going to piss some people off. And I'm not really that worried about pissing people off. But at the same time, I don't know. It is a business and I am trying to make this go. And I don't know if it really makes that much of a difference. Because I'm not like a super adherent to any particular cause.
Right.
But at the same time, I want to be able to express my opinions without getting kicked in the head. So
The more that you express your opinions, the more you can express them without being kicked in the head.
yeah, I'm sure that's true.
Or your head just gets number.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah. But it's frustrating that, you don't agree with the mainstream, like on net neutrality. You don't agree with the mainstream, so you must be a bad person. It's just like, well, that, or I thought it through and my core beliefs don't line up with yours. But no, we can't have that.
Now that's one where I got a lot of death threats. I got multiple death threats.
Yeah.
Oh, really?
From my net neutrality video. Yes.
I got a whole bunch of snarky. Oh, so what's dev chat going to have to pay to get their content out? And I'm like, nothing.
I got like, if you take away my internet, I will kill you. I will come to your house and kill you.
Okay, I don't want to really go too deep into this again,
No,
but I do have a legitimate question here. Okay,
Okay.
are you guys aware of this? Actually, I feel like this whole net neutrality thing is like a hypothetical problem.
Exactly.
Are you aware of any? Has there been any situation where the only situation where I have ever heard of any internet provider throttling anyone is when they are bandwidth hogs and they use like a terabyte of data in a month.
Right.
And they wanted to make I know that they wanted to make people pay more for that. And I think a lot of it has to do, honestly, I think a lot of it has to do with file sharing and torrents. And like basically the people that are really the real reason that nobody says this, but the real reason that they want net neutrality is because they want to be able to download their movies for free.
I think that's part of it. I did hear that one of the cable providers went to Netflix and said, "Look, you account for like 60% of our traffic.
Yeah.
And, you need to pay up to make it worth us prioritizing your bandwidth the same as everything else," which is
Okay.
also fair.
Which I think is very fair. Yeah, I mean, if you had a company, if you had a Walmart, okay, let's use Walmart, right? Because everybody hates Walmart. If you had Walmart move into your little town, and suddenly the traffic increased by 60%, don't you think Walmart should maybe pay a little bit extra to help upgrade the roads so that they could handle the load?
Yeah, but see, they do. They pay taxes. They pay sales tax to the city. And
right.
So the increased traffic means increased money being spent at Walmart, so that you'll collect more sales tax anyway. But the way the ISPs are set up, that doesn't happen, and so I don't see a major problem with them making Netflix pay.
Right.
And Netflix wouldn't pay, and so like on Time Warner and stuff, some folks didn't get great service out of Netflix. And I don't know. I kind of see both sides on that, because I'm paying for Netflix. I should be able to watch the movies without it slowing down. But at the same time, if it's not cost effective for the ISP to stay open, I can also understand that. If they're subsidizing all the Netflix traffic. So I don't know. I kind of come down both ways, and I really think that the government should stay out of it and let the kids fight it out on their own.
Yeah,
exactly. Well, that and the key thing is, like, it's all hypothetical.
Yeah,
it's solving a problem.
Yeah.
It's making it's like I think that people may commit this crime, so let's make a law against this thing that people aren't actually doing in case they do it, right? I mean, maybe so it's ridiculous.
To me, I think the whole thing is I think that a lot of people support it because they think that the corporations are gonna limit their internet access, but I think the core people that are really pushing it want to be able to regulate speech.
Well,
yeah,
it's more about that.
Is that with the and then I think we should get back to talking about our businesses. But I also see that a lot of the big incumbent companies, they can spend a ton of money making sure that they're letting the government know that they're doing net neutrality. And what this really does is it hurts the littler companies.
Yeah.
That when they try and come in, all of a sudden they have to prove that they're net neutral. And so that regulation actually hurts competition, which would solve the problem anyway.
Right.
So, anyway, I've had this debate with plenty of people. So
yeah. No, that was just the is this a hypothetical problem question? I've been thinking a lot about that lately. So
yeah, and I've seen a couple things, but most of them could be handled by the FTC because they're also anti-competitive. Anyway. So should I pull out sock puppets? And I think that would pick.
I would.
Well, not the sock puppets. You actually have to put on the wig and get the.
Oh,
I would strongly suggest that you just don't go down this path again. I mean,
I'm just tired of people bringing it up. I'm like, I just want to be able to say, look, I've said everything I'm going to say about it.
I mean, that's you could say that right now.
Yeah, but I haven't said anything about it.
But you don't want to put yourself in the position where you're justifying your position and what happened, or explaining to people the situation. Like, explaining is bad. Like, it never works out good. So either make a parody of it and make fun of it and light of it, or completely ignore it and just say, whatever. I'm not talking about that.
If I did the parody, I think I just piss way more people off. But I could actually. I think it would be fun just from the sense of, hey, I keep getting asked about this, and so basically, it
would be therapeutic.
If you make it ridiculous enough. I mean, yes, you piss some people off, but if you make it ridiculous enough, then you make the whole thing ridiculous. It's setting the frame, right?
Yeah.
What's the frame you want on this? The frame that you want on this is that this is ridiculous.
Yeah.
The whole thing is ridiculous. The getting upset about this thing is all ridiculous. So I'm going to treat this as ridiculous, right?
Okay, so I'll throw another firebomb in here. So Rush Limbaugh, who I used to listen to a lot when I was growing up, has a phrase for this. He calls it illustrating absurdity by being absurd.
Yeah, exactly.
Basically, he takes a situation that's everyone's just sort of accepting as normal, and then he multiplies it by 10, and then you're like, oh, okay, this is
kind of odd. Yeah, exactly.
I like the idea though.
But if it were me, I mean, if it were John, I bet you John would probably do the parody. If it were me, I would just let it go. But I mean, it just depends how much drama do you feel like dealing with? Because if this comes up again, it's gonna. You're starting to okay. Here's some possible possible head trash here that things are starting to go pretty well for you, right? So so digging this up again is a good way to derail yourself.
That's fair. That is fair.
Off of where that's an easy trap to fall into.
Yeah, exactly.
Nope, I agree with that. I should just focus on what I'm trying to accomplish.
Yeah. Yep. Yeah, I like John's idea about just
hate.
I like John's idea about just, expressing yourself more and just sort of like taking it as just taking this as like, okay, I've been soft pedaling things. Take it as a lesson and don't try to fix it now. Just try to fix it going forward.
So a good example of this is I just subscribed to her channel. I'm sure you guys have heard of the video, that girl that did the fat shaming video that got like all everyone remember that.
I didn't know.
She's like this stand-up comedian now. Well, sort of. She has a big YouTube channel, and she did one. I just saw one on ADHD and saying that it's not real and that your parents giving you're just drugging your kids, but it was such a funny.
What? Sorry, I got distracted.
What's that?
I said what? Sorry, I got distracted.
Oh, anyway, like it was just funny because throughout the ADHD video, she's like, "Oh yeah, you're gonna really lose your shit on this one," and I mean, she's gotten a lot of hate, but it's just she doesn't care. She just makes all those videos. Like when I first saw the fat shaming video, I was like, "Oh shit, she must have been like she got a bunch of shit for that," and then she must have like not realized how much impact that was going to have and how right. But then I looked at the rest of her videos just recently because I had seen the fat shaming one a long time ago, and I was like, no, this is just her modus operandi. Like it doesn't matter. Like this is like she lets it roll off like water off a duck's back. So so I don't know. I mean that's once you start doing that, then it doesn't fucking matter. So.
Yeah.
Well, one other thing that I've kind of been wanting to do for a while is kind of like your take your shirt off thing. Just kind of do an AMA, just ask me anything. And then if it comes up, then I'll just, I'll be like, look, I don't have time to go through the whole thing here. Is there something specific that you want to know? And then just leave it at that, right?
Yeah. As long as, And especially if everyone's got their pants off.
But if nobody cares, then nobody's going to ask about it. And then it doesn't matter.
Yeah.
Yeah. Oh my gosh. Wow.
Take your pants off. That would get people up in arms too. Yeah, my buddy John does a let's take our shirts off and talk thing, and I decided we should just take our pants off and talk.
Well, I mean, and you got to take, anytime that you're dealing with like scandals and whatnot, you should take a page from Trump's book because he knows how to handle this, right? I mean, every time that he's been like slapped with something that's been like, oh, there's no way he's going to become president now that this has come out. What has he done? Has he ever called a press conference and said, hey, all right, I just want to clear things up and let you guys know what happened. Just ask me any questions and I'll tell you what happened in the situation.
That's true.
He's like, no, he just fucking ignores it. He's like, it's like this locker room talk, whatever. His answer is basically whatever. So that's the best. I mean, honestly, like that's the best way to handle that, because anytime like you give into someone else's frame, you're letting them set the frame, and their reality becomes reality. And so whether you get sucked in because someone accuses you of something, or you get sucked in because you feel the need to explain yourself or to set the record straight, every time that you are altering your behavior because of someone else, you are buying into their reality and their frame. And frame control is really, really important, especially when you're a public persona. You need to set the frame in the image that you're presenting. And so that means that you can't be goaded into anything like that. Never explanations or rationalizations.
Yeah, the thing that really just pisses me off though is that the way that a lot of it got framed when it all went down was wrong. And then, it's like, oh, well, there's still that drama. And yeah, it's just frustrating, but
Yep. Yeah, there's things that happen in the moment that once the moment passes, it's too late.
yeah.
And I think this is one of those.
Yeah, I think
Yeah.
so too. I think I just needed you guys to talk me off the ledge because I agree. I mean, it's going to be a distraction for the other stuff that I'm trying to accomplish.
Exactly. Yeah.
And so, why give it any time when I can actually go out and serve people and do way more for people.
You're one person with a pretty decent megaphone. You're going up again. My kids. I just read a book to my kids last night called T-Rex versus Velociraptor. All right.
Uh-huh.
And so at the
I've
end
seen that book.
So it
sounds like one I want.
It's basically that goes through all the T-Rex facts and all the Velociraptor facts, and then at the end it sets them up as like a battle, right? And the T-Rex is going up against the one Velociraptor, and he's crushing it, and then the Velociraptor goes, "Rah!" and 50 of his buddies come, and then they tear the T-Rex to shreds because you can't fight 50 T-Rexes. That's what you're going to be. You're the T-Rex here. If you engage in this, you're going to get shredded like that. I would just steer clear.
Yeah, no, that makes sense. And I'm sure I'm going to express some opinion later on it's going to be another kerfuffle.
Yep.
Josh with the hypotheticals today.
Yeah, I know.
I feel like a T-Rex, man.
I heard somebody call customers, like email subscribers who won't pay. He called them T-Rexers. Like their arms are too short to reach their wallets. I really like that.
That's awesome.
So.
Oh, that's funny. So yeah, but other than that, I started holding team meetings every week.
Oh, cool.
That was awesome, I have to say. So I've been going through this 4 steps program with Scott Beebe, and yeah, so I set up the meeting and we talked through what had to happen, and it was just great because everybody was on board with getting stuff done. Everybody knew what they needed to do. We're going to come back around and talk about it next week. So I've got the accountability stuff, and anyway, that went really, really well as well. So, between the NetRocks stuff and all of the rest of this, and then I'm way ahead on recording pretty much all of the shows. I'm at least a week or two ahead on the big shows and on the interview shows, the My Ruby Story, My Angular Story stuff. I'm like months ahead on that stuff.
Oh wow!
So
That's
everything is just it's clicking right along. I'm gonna start having Michelle reach out to people for the initial contact on sponsorship and try and line up sponsorship calls. I'm finding that people, they go to the order page, but they don't quite know what to do or what they want to order, and so I think I still need to do sales calls at this point. But yeah, that's been interesting, but there's no reason why she can't send out the initial request, and I think I'm also going to change up the sales page so that it's essentially going to just be the stats from the show, and then there's going to be a button to click that says order a sponsorship on this show, and that way they can flip over to that, and then I'm going to have like get top available billing on all shows, and then it'll just select all the it'll select the top available spot on each show.
Oh, nice.
Episode.
Okay. Oh,
and
yeah.
Give them the total, and it'll give them the projected impact. So it'll get this many downloads, this many views on your banners.
That's good.
And that kind of thing. Just based on the numbers they saw on the original page that gave them the profile of the show.
Right.
And then
that is killer.
And then it'll be like top available billing, lowest available billing. Yeah. Anyway, so it'll kind of work out that way, and yeah. So then I can pull all that together, and then the other big thing that I want to add in is Currently, I keep track of everything in Asana because that's where I hand things off to Eric, and in PodWrench, and I want to just move everything over to PodWrench since that's where I'm tracking it anyway for me. And so then you can just go in and say, I'm editing this now. What?
Couple ideas. What if you had them enter a budget at the top of, like, maybe the first step would be enter a budget, and then you figure out like the best way to distribute it.
Right, that makes sense.
And then the other thought was, it might be a good idea to hide this for now, and then I mean, if people aren't actually buying, and if they're all calling or wanting to talk to you, then maybe the thing to do would be to do your sales calls, but actually try to get them to order at the end with you right there on the phone. Like, say, hey, here's the link, go here,
right,
and walk through it with them, and that way, like, they can give you verbal feedback on it if there's
that makes sense.
If there's stuff that they're having trouble with. Yeah, because that way you could get the real-time kind of usability testing. So as long as it doesn't come across as too pushy.
No, that makes sense.
No, that's great too. And then you get paid right away instead of just a commitment. Like, yeah, that's a really good. It's a sales technique.
We'll mail you a check. John and I.
We're missing a check, Josh. You've run ads.
I know. We freaking people. Every time somebody says they're going to pay us by check, it seriously seems like a 6-week delay. I mean, I haven't actually tracked it, but it's like, I don't know. I think people are, there's like a delay for the accounting department to process it, and then the bank might be mailing, or QuickBooks, or like their accounting firm might be mailing out the checks. So there's like this ridiculously long lag. But
yeah, most companies have like pay bill day, and then they have like net 30s and net 60s and whatnot. But that's why I don't know. That's why I started implementing the policy of, when you pay us, when we get the money, then we'll do something. We won't do anything until you get the money. I do that with everything now. So I guess lesson learned again for next.
Well, yeah, I mean, generally, like this last time, this specific, in general, I would be cracking the whip and doing that. With the YouTube stuff, we have a 2-week lag. So I'd sold them on doing Q1 with us, and they were excited about doing Q1, and they wanted to do the whole quarter. So I was like, okay, we'll just go ahead and get started on it, because Rodrigo needed the go ahead by like December 15th.
Yeah,
they'd given us a verbal commitment a couple weeks before that, and they'd paid us before. So
that's true. I guess if they've paid us before,
if they were new, with the first round with these folks, it was the same deal. It took a while to get us paid, and we didn't start running anything until they paid. So
right.
I figure they're good for it eventually, but it's annoying.
Yeah, well, I guess we'll see what happens. But I mean, we can follow up with them. But
I've seen some variability with the folks that want to send me a check. Like sometimes it takes a couple weeks, not usually 6 weeks though.
I might be exaggerating that, but
yeah. But like Linode, for example, he's like, yeah, well, we'll mail you a check, and he's telling me that they're doing like net 30, and I got the check like the next week. And so it really depends on what's going on and where you hit them on their payment cycle.
That makes sense.
Their folks. So
I didn't realize. Yeah, the bill pay day thing makes sense. So like all the checks get cut on the same day.
Yep.
So that makes sense.
And so I think I've just gotten lucky on some of those and unlucky on others. Because some of them it feels like, oh, I've bugged you like 6 times over the past 2 months about when the check's going to show up. And then it finally comes, right? So they were working on it. It was just they were working on it on their own schedule.
So you know what? I'm looking at their bill pay, and it says, or the thing they sent us, it had a send on 12/12/2017. So we should probably follow up and bug them because I think it didn't get there for some reason.
Yeah, you mean the
invoice?
You're looking at the invoice, John?
Yeah. But I'm looking at what they sent of proof of payment, and it said send on 12.
Oh yeah.
On 12/12/17.
Yeah, they definitely follow up.
because this looks like they used a bill pay, like a Wells Fargo bill pay.
Okay.
So it has delivered by 12/19.
Oh gosh.
Yeah.
Which address did it go to?
The Westover
North Carolina one?
Drive. Oh,
Okay.
you know why they didn't put 7981 in it? They put the wrong address. It only has 500 Westover Drive. It doesn't have
All right,
numbers.
Chuck, well, this conversation just made us $3,000.
Yay!
They had the wrong address.
It got you $3,000 you already had earned.
Yeah.
But yeah, the issue is they have the wrong address.
All right.
Yeah.
I will make a note. I will follow up with them then.
I'll also contact my mail service and say, hey, is there a check maybe that doesn't have the address on there?
Yeah.
yeah. I'm sure they'll be like, oh yeah, sure. There's a whole pile of them here. You want them all?
Nice. Well, I'm glad talking through this helped you guys out.
Yes.
Yeah.
All right.
But yeah. Of all the other things that, we've kind of talked through as far as what I've got going on, I'm just doing planning and getting ready to go to CES.
Sweet. Is that next week?
Next week, yep. I will be coming to you live from Las Vegas.
Excellent. Well, we are doing another giveaway.
Yes. What are we giving
so
away?
We are giving away Sublime text again. So I'm going to have a bunch of angry people who think that I promised everyone a copy of Sublime text. My wife could not believe that. She's like, do they think you're Oprah?
You just look just like her.
So have you seen that video with the bees video with Oprah? It's like she goes like, it's, I guess I don't know what they must have edited videos with this. She's like, and everyone gets bees, and then like this bees start flying out everywhere and like stinging people, and it's pretty funny. But yeah, so far I launched the giveaway on Tuesday, and I've sent 2 emails, and so far we have 2,381 new subscribers from that.
Oh, nice.
And it looks like, so the number of entries, I'm only adding subscribers that are confirmed into Drip. So the actual number of emails should be much higher than that. It'll probably be double that. And I'll probably add them as well, but they just won't. Yeah, so we've got 6,300 contestants and then 11,400 entries. So
how do you only add the ones who confirm?
Well, so King Sumo Giveaways added this feature since I ran my first giveaway. And what you do, you basically just check a box, and then they have a Zapier integration. So I'm sending all of the subscribers through Zapier into Drip, but I check the box that says only trigger this integration if they're confirmed. So essentially they're double opted in. And I did that just in case somebody does like 100,000 fake submissions again. That way we won't have a Drip bill that's like for 200,000 subscribers. But yeah, so I really wasn't sure what to expect of this giveaway. And I'm thinking now, so my first one was, of course, was crazy. The last one I did, I got 35,000 subscribers from that. And then this one, currently I've got 6,300, and I've got like another 6 days or so to go. Yeah,
oh,
6 days
this
left
could
to
be
go.
Good.
So
I think the word out about it.
Just email. So for this list, I have I sent out a broadcast announcement, but then I also have a day I'm working up to having daily emails for this list, but right now it's just a autoresponder sequence that goes out on, I think it's Monday and Wednesday.
Right.
So I send 3 emails a week to this list, and I've got at the top of every email, I have like a little ad for the giveaway.
Gotcha.
And yeah, so I think I'll be sending like probably another 3, 4 emails about it. So I'm thinking we might end up with like around 10 to 20,000 entries and 10 to 20,000 contestants, and maybe like around 5 to 7,000 new subscribers. So that's pretty freaking good. Now a lot of them will end up being worthless, but because I'm down to, on the current list, the Sublime list, that of the 198 or 187,000 that I got from that list, I'm down to about 30. So I've just called out the deadwood over and over again and gotten it down. So now I have 30,000 subscribers, but actually my open rates on that list are like 35%. So it's a pretty high quality. The remnant is pretty high quality.
Nice.
Yeah. So we're definitely going to be doing more of this we're going to do one for the simple programmer list. And I think we're going to give away the IntelliJ IDE from the JetBrains IntelliJ. So,
right.
Because that was pretty popular. I did a survey of our list and I was shocked. Like, so basically of the top, there were like 3 or 4 things that were mentioned over and over. One of them was Udemy. One of them was Pluralsight, of course. And then there was one other like online learning site in there. And then this IntelliJ just kept coming up over and over and over and over again. So, so I think that'll be popular. And I might try an email blast with Java Code Geeks, which is a website that has they've got a pretty big list of like over 100,000. And they're all Java developers. So I think they'd be interested. So we're going to do, but I think we're going to do one of these a month. And we'll probably get several thousand subscribers from each one. So my goal is to get us to 10,000 subscribers a month this year. So right now we get about 6,200. Since we started promoting the free version of the career guide, we've been getting around 6,200 a month. So that's about double what we were getting before.
Oh, by the way, speaking of death threats, I got one on that. So it's like, he promised me a free book. You should die, asshole.
I know. I saw that because it was hilarious. So there were 2 links in the email. Like the guy only read to the first link was linking to Amazon, and the second link linked to the first chapter of the book. So I don't know. Like he obviously didn't even read the entire email.
Yeah,
that's funny.
Yeah.
What are you doing offering free stuff, John? What a jerk.
Exactly.
Don't you know how racist free stuff is?
I had this one guy call me up, actually. This is the famous guy, Josh, that kept on the double refund guy.
Oh my gosh.
He finally contacted PayPal, got my phone number. He's been sending me all these polite messages, right? And and then he called me up, and
well, I think there were a couple of people that were asking for double refunds, right? But this was the one that you just got frustrated because was it the guy that said he couldn't consume the course in its current form, and then he was like, also he bought 10 steps to learn anything quickly, and then he also bought JavaScript Launchpad.
Yeah, this is that guy.
Okay, and JavaScript Launchpad, he's like, I have no interest in JavaScript. Well, I'm like, okay, why did you buy it?
Right. So anyway, I told him we'll give you credit, in the store, give you another, like, if you're not. In fact, I think I might have even offered this guy some kind of coaching or something. Like, it was well worth more than that, just to see, shake is this guy really trying to scam us or not? Right. So anyway, he got PayPal's number, or got the number for my Google Voice number from PayPal, and I saw the call come in. And I usually don't answer that. And then I saw the voice message from him. And I was like, you know what? I'm so tired of this guy. I'm just going to call him up and be like, dude, what the fuck? So I called him, and he was shocked. He was like, is this the John Sonmez? right? And it was, of course, an Indian guy, right?
Yeah,
That, you know,
yeah.
I could just tell from his emails and, you know,
Yeah.
just the way that he was, you know, just like, and he's like, oh, sir, I respect you. You know, I'm not trying to scam you or, you know, all this bullshit. And I just let him have it. I was like, dude, look, man, like, you're wasting my time. Like, this is like, I told you there's no, like, we don't allow like multiple refunds, right? You know, and I was like, you know, you can get a refund on one product, you know, but if you buy multiple products from us, we're obviously not just going to start refunding you every single product that you just, you know, buy it and then download it and then refund. That doesn't work that way, right? And so, you know, he was, you know, squirming around it, going back and forth on it, and I can't remember exactly what he's, you know, he was like, oh, you know, I'm in my country, you know, there's no refunds, none of the things. So I thought America is great because everyone offers these refunds, and then he's telling me about how he bought his Nexus from Amazon and he returned it 6 months later.
What?
And so I was like, so, okay. So finally, you know, I was like, I offered him credit, right? And he's like, well, can I just get a refund on one of the products then on the JavaScript? And he explained why he was a Scrum Master and why he didn't need the JavaScript, right? And I explained to him too. I was like, dude, he's like, I love your content and it's really helpful to me and helpful to, and I was like, look, let me just give you some advice, dude. I was like, look, okay, you're like a software developer, right? You make like $80,000, $100,000 a year, right? He's like, I don't know. Are you asking me? I'm like, yes, I'm asking you. I'm telling you. I mean, tell me if I'm wrong, right? He's like, yeah. So I was like, so you're really gonna like burn a bridge with someone that you respect over like, you know, waste my fucking time over like $100? Like, seriously, like, you know what I mean? Like, I said, you're entitled to your refund. It's cool. You're totally entitled to, you know, refund on one product, you know, but are you really going to do that? Like, does that even make sense? Like, you know what I mean? I was trying to like, he's like, oh, I never thought of it from that perspective. Right. And so I'm like, you know, look, I'll give you the JavaScript one. And I went to go to the refund in PayPal and I can't even do the refund because it's so damn old. It's like a year ago. Right.
Right.
So then I'm like, fuck, I'll just send you $200. Or no. I wasn't even going to do it. I was like, no, you can have credit. And then he's like, I'm begging you, please. And I was like, you know, and I talked about how like the whole refund policy is designed for people that, you know, might have some kind of financial trouble, you know, or not someone who's already a successful software developer, or it really didn't fit them at all, you know what I mean? Or, you know, like an honest reason, not because they're just like, you know, trying to get a bunch of courses and download them for free. And so then finally I'm like, something's up. He's like, I don't want to go into the details, but I am having some problems with the money right now. And you're right. This is why I'm going back and getting money from things from a long time ago. And so I was like, you know what? All right, fine. I was like, that's cool. I'm not going to ask you, but if you're telling me you have financial problems, I'm sending you $200. I'll send you $200 on PayPal, right? Which was more than the course cost, right?
Right.
So I'm sending him this $200, and as I'm sending this, he's telling me the story, and he's like, "Oh, and I also was your friend Manny. I was trying to get your number from him, but he wasn't comfortable with it when but I had a nice chat with Manny, your friend Manny, you know, because unfortunately his product didn't work out for me either."
You know, I looked at his account and I saw that he'd bought, because I unsubscribed him from our list. And I saw that he was tagged as having bought that too. And I was like, you're kidding me, right? Like,
so at that point, I like stopped my PayPal transaction. I was like, what the fuck, dude? I was like, what are you just telling me? Did I just hear this right? I had to interrupt. I was like, did I just hear that you bought the fucking product from my friend Manny and you returned that as well? You got a refund on that as well? And you called him up and wasted his fucking time on the phone? I was pissed. I was like, what the fuck, dude? I was like, you know what? Simple programmer. Yes, I've got mouths to feed. We have a bunch of employees and we got to pay paychecks and stuff. And this shit pisses me off when you waste my time and you take money that would go out to pay people. That pisses me off. But Manny is like making like $2,000 a month, trying to make his, you know, struggle and make his way on his business. And like, you're on the fucking phone wasting this guy's fucking time, right? And refunding his product. Like, you know, that's that was like $29. Like, so I just gave it to him, and you know, he was not he was pretty receptive. I mean, he was pretty ashamed of himself, which you know.
Oh my
So,
gosh.
and then finally at the
Yeah.
end, I was like, you know, he's like, oh, I'm separated from my wife, and I have to pay for this apartment. I'm like, look, I'm gonna send you the 200 fucking bucks. But here's the deal. I don't want to fucking hear from you again. I don't want to see you. I don't want you to call me. Don't email me. Don't buy any more of my shit. Don't buy anything from my friends. Don't buy shit and return it. Okay.
Oh, I have him blacklisted, and I think I also have him unsubscribed from our list.
So finally, he's like just super apologizing. He's like, I hope that we can still be friends. I love you, man. I love, you know. And so I was like, you know what? I was like, I cooled off a little bit. I was like, look, dude, I was like, I'm not really like super pissed at you. Like, we're cool. It's fine. Like, don't worry. You know, I don't hate you or anything. Like, you know, I love you too.
You need to send him death threats.
I said this. I said, look,
New policy, new simple programmer refund policy is you get death threats if you request a refund.
So I was like, look, dude, here's the thing. Like, I don't want you to like feel bad and feel like I hate you and you're, you know, this guy that you respect now you've burned this bridge and stuff. I said, this is like, we could be cool and everything, you know, but I just asked you one favor. Sometime when you're back financially on your feet, buy one of my products as a gift for someone else that could use the help that doesn't have the money. Do that and we're cool. Okay. So anyway, that was it. And
That's funny.
so,
Oh
and then as soon as I hung up the phone, and also my daughter's listening, like to sick. I went downstairs because we're playing like the Mario game on the Switch.
She saw 5 different sides of daddy all inside of like 7 minutes.
Oh gosh, this kid it's hilarious. But she tells my wife, she's like, Daddy was scolding someone on the phone.
Oh my gosh.
So yeah. So anyway, but immediately when I got off the phone too, I thought, you know, this is why Josh was like, just refund people.
Yeah.
Whatever. It's just not worth the time and the effort. But it just pisses me off. And I told him, I was like, it's like a slap in the face when you like do this kind of crap.
Yeah, this is why we need a support system, a support system, so that this never gets to your plate again. But yeah, honestly, like my biggest concern with it is that this, you know, if they're in the US and this guy was like, he went to PayPal, you know, like if he hadn't been such a nice guy, there's things he could have done that could cause us a lot of trouble.
Potentially, but it was fraudulent. I mean, he has he was committing fraud, right? I mean, it was pretty apparent. Like if you're buying multiple products from people and refunding them, right? It's so, but yeah, I don't know. I guess in general, we should. It doesn't. It's not worth it.
It's such a small amount. It's such a small amount of money, really. So
yeah. No, it's more the principle of the thing. So
yeah, you can.
I have no problem. I mean, any refund that someone wants on one purchase, no problem. Like, yeah, go ahead. It doesn't, you know, we just fully
Gary
stand
Halbert used to say that the decision to refund is made before purchase is committed. So, like, if you, a lot of times you'll get people asking you questions about the refund policy, like before they buy. And that's a really bad sign.
Yeah. What we should do, what I thought to reduce the scammer, I don't know if we talked about this, is we need to send a physical product to people, like send them a free T-shirt or something.
Yeah.
And then be like, yeah, it's fine, as long as you return the thing that the bonus that we gave you, and that would. I mean, we don't really have a high refund rate, so it's not that big of a deal, but it would cut down, it would completely eliminate the scammers, because you can't like, and now the effort is of you actually, like, if you're going through the trouble of trying to get this thing for free and if you plan to commit fraud from the beginning, now you have the physical trouble of actually mailing something back, which is much more difficult. So
yeah. Well, when we get the courses converted out to streaming, it'll be harder for them to pirate too. So yeah,
then you'll have less of the people that are trying to pull that crap. So Yeah, I mean, I've literally gotten on the phone with someone who wanted a refund, who was upset, and every once in a while I do it, which is another good reason. I don't know, maybe it's a waste of time, but I've literally got on the phone with people and given them free coaching for like an hour about like how to use the 10 steps to learn anything quickly program, because they are honestly like, I'm not sure how to apply this. It doesn't work. I don't understand how to apply this for a programming language. And I've spent the time to do it because I want them to be successful with it. So
Right.
yeah, but I have no tolerance for people that are blatantly scamming. Especially it pisses me off when they're getting a lot of, when they're like, oh, so I watch all your YouTube videos and I get so much
I know.
value.
Yeah, I know. They think that's going to make it better. It's
Exactly.
so much worse. Yeah, you've literally changed my life. Can I have my $99 back? Yeah. So, well, I'm glad that is. So John had clicked ignore in Gmail, and those emails, every time the guy would reply to an email, I have a rule set up that forwards subscriber replies to the broadcast emails. They come to me as well, just like blind copy to me. So John had this guy ignored in Gmail, but I was still getting all of his replies. It was really annoying. He was really persistent. So I'm glad that episode is behind us.
Yes. So.
So what else is going on? The giveaway. So we're gonna do next week. I'm kind of nervous, kind of excited about this. We are doing. Oh, Chuck's sleeping. John already knows about this.
Fucking scammers! I'm out of here.
Yeah, I was gonna talk about the Thinkful thing, but Chuck's gone.
Well, I got something for you on the Thinkful thing.
Okay.
You don't have to be as nervous about it. I think I'm much more optimistic after I recorded the 2 videos I recorded, because I realized what an offer it is. Because I basically went in the video and I hammered home the point in both the videos. I went to the Thinkful page and I was like, look, this is how I would do it. This is insane. I was like, look at this. Like check this out. Okay. So you go down here, okay, all you have to pay, right, for that one option is $1,000 deposit, and then you don't pay anything until you get a job, and then for the next 3 years, you pay the 15%, which if you're looking for a software developer job, who fucking cares if you pay 10 or 15% of your income for the first? It doesn't matter. That's like anyone would do that. So no big deal. I would do that, right? I was like, but here's the thing. With my $500 scholarship that I'm giving you out of my pocket, you're doing this for $500.
Yeah.
So like, who doesn't? If I don't care, I was like, I don't care if you work at McDonald's right now. You got $500. You can get $500 for a boot camp. So you put down the $500, you do the program, and I mean, you've got nothing to lose except for the time that you spent learning how to program, right? I mean, it's like, it's not going to be a waste of time, right?
Yeah.
So and if you get a job, you gladly pay that, so it's basically like insane. I was like, even if you are already a developer and you just want to learn JavaScript and Node.js development and React for $500. This is insane. You might as well sign up for the boot camp, right? And do that. Like, I mean, it's such a low risk opportunity there. So yeah, so I think that's, I mean, what we're literally selling is something that is extremely valuable for $500 is the point to get in. So I think most people will take that, and yeah, I'm looking pretty optimistically at it right now. So
yeah, I'm pretty excited about it too. It was like aside from like the I already have a job, I don't want to give it up objection. There's really no reason not to do it.
Yeah.
I mean, it's pretty crazy. So interesting thing, I did the math on this last night. I don't know if I'm going to bring this up or not, but so if you're 18 years old, so I was comparing this to a college degree, because one of the things that drives me crazy is when people say, oh, if you get a college degree, you're going to earn $1 million more over your career. So isn't that a great investment, right?
Yeah.
So, all right, let's catch Chuck up. Hey, Chuck. So we're talking about our promotion for next week, which is We are partnering up with Thinkful.com to promote their boot camp. So they're the biggest online coding boot camp, teaching people how to do React, like basically full stack web development.
Right.
So, and it's a pretty killer. I'm not sure. I don't think I've talked about this at all. But the deal that basically their program, the way they're exploring this financing option, where it's basically you pay a $500 or $1,000 application fee, and then you attend the boot camp for free, and then you only pay if they have to get you a job when you graduate, and if they get you a job when you graduate, then you pay a percentage of your salary for 3 years. So it's basically like no risk to attend. Virtually no cost and virtually no risk to attend. And then it's on them to actually help you find to place you in. And so we're gonna hit this pretty hard next week. But I was just telling John that one of the things that drives me crazy is when people say, "Oh, you have to go to college because if you get a college degree, you're going to earn $1 million more over the course of your career, and it's such a great investment." So I did the math, and if you did instead of going to college, so figure if you went to college, you're going to graduate, you're probably going to be about $60,000 in debt, or like your total out-of-pocket costs will be about $60,000. And I actually wasn't even including interest on the loans or anything, but just so if you, instead of doing that, if you started when you were 18, went to one of these coding boot camps and got a job making like $50,000 a year, worked for that 4 years, and then basically the difference, you'd be about almost $250,000 ahead of where, because when you graduate with a college degree, you've lost 4 years of earning potential, and you're also $60,000 in the hole.
Right.
So you'd be like $250,000 ahead of the game already. Over 30 years at 7% interest, like if you stuck it in like an index fund, that's like $1.5 million.
Right.
That is,
well, when they say that, they're saying, on average the high school grad makes X, and on average the college grad makes Y.
right.
And so then if you make that go over a big or a 20, 30, 40 year career, then yeah. But in computing these days, it doesn't add up because you don't have to go to college. It
drives me crazy. I actually used to work in marketing for colleges and universities, so so this was something that I was peddling every day.
The lies.
Yes.
Told.
Yes. Yeah. I have repented. We were also doing brand marketing, so
There you go.
Yep. I worked for a company that did lead gen for universities.
Oh, nice.
That was my second full-time dev job. And so we built a whole platform for capturing leads.
Nice. But yeah, so we'll see how this goes. Basically, we're doing, so next week I'm going to do 5 days worth of emails about this. It's going to be the whole week. We're going to start on Monday, go through Friday, and basically we got Thinkful was giving us like we can offer $500 off on that application fee. So that's what we're going to use for the incentive.
Gotcha.
So yeah, I don't know what to expect with this one because it's a pretty big commitment, because you have to like basically put your life on hold for 6 months to do it.
Well, that's true of any boot camp though. Yeah,
I know. Well, we've never promoted it. Like our last affiliate promotion was a $29 collection of videos. So this is a kind of going completely the opposite direction.
Which so far though, this approach, I mean, we cross our fingers, but we've kicked ass on every single one of these.
Mm-hmm.
Yep.
So far, that one with Manny with the 2,000 books, that did a lot better than I think we expected.
Yeah, it did. We ended up doing like 18 grand in revenue on that.
Yeah.
which was, yeah, that was beyond what I was expecting. So
I don't know. We'll
yeah.
see. I think my prediction, if I had to predict how many we'd sell of this, I would say maybe 60.
Yeah, that seems. I'm thinking like 50.
Mhm.
I think it should be between 50 and 100. That's like my wide range. But I'm thinking more toward the lower end of that. So.
Interesting.
Yeah, we're trying something new too. Where so John has done for these promotions. John has done interviews, and so we had a really good interview with Manny that he did, and I send out the interviews in one of the emails, and nobody freaking watches them. Nobody. Because, well, I think, yeah, it's like the people. Yeah, it's a different medium. The people are on. See, it surprised me a little bit because of the success that people have with webinars. So I guess the webinar being an event and having it at a set time and everything makes it work. Whereas like it's just a recorded video doesn't seem to work.
Yeah, well, the thing is that if I'm checking email, I'm in the mode of I'm going to spend a minute or so on any given conversation. And you want me to watch a 10-minute, 20-minute, 30-minute. You want me to make that time commitment right now. And so it's, I'll come back to this. Whereas with the webinar, I can spend my 2 minutes by clicking on your link and RSVPing, and then it shows up on my calendar, so I'll come back.
Yeah, that makes sense. I just was thinking that the video would help it would convert better by mixing in video, and that seems to not be the case at all. So what we're going to do instead is I had the video transcribed. So it's an interview with Jason. What's Jason's last name, John? Is it
Humphrey?
Humphrey, yeah. And he's a mentor. He's one of John's coaching students, and he's a mentor at Thinkful. So John did an hour-long interview with him, and I'm just going to take that sucker and chop up pieces of it and send it out in the emails, the transcript. Yeah. So that'll save me having to write a bunch of emails. I probably can get 3 emails out of that, at least 2 or 3. They'll be longer, and hopefully what I really want to convince people of is like all the personal attention they're going to get in this program. Like I think if most people believe that they're going to get the personal attention that they're going to get, they will pull the trigger.
Yeah.
So, and I think the conversation with Jason should help sell that a lot. Yeah, so we'll see how that goes. I'm pretty curious because those are going to be some long emails, I imagine.
It'll be interesting too to see, just like, again, we had good experience with selling from YouTube, shockingly, from our last sale. Like I think it was somewhere around.
Well, I think it might have been like 20, but it was a big chunk.
Yeah, it was. Yeah. And then, so it'll be interesting to see what happens with this, with these targeted sales videos on YouTube, because that was something that we didn't even realize we could tap into, really, that that you could sell on YouTube, but you can. And then the other thing we should probably do is, like, YouTube lets you. The only problem is I have to do it on the mobile phone. But I don't know. You might want to look at this, Josh. But YouTube now has this thing where you can send messages, essentially. Like, I don't know. Have you seen this feature of YouTube?
No.
So, like, in the subscribers timeline, it's almost like turned YouTube into Twitter, right? You can post. Let me see what the options are here. So,
meaning that it's unprofitable, and the president of the United States really likes it.
What's that?
It turns YouTube into Twitter, meaning it's unprofitable, and the president of the United States really likes it.
I'm not even seeing where the feature is, or maybe it's just on the regular account. But what you can do is basically post. Oh yeah, here it is. Okay, so you can do a post, right? So you can do video, you could do live, but you can do a post. And if you do a post, you can just put in text, or you can put a poll, or you can put an image or a link to another video in there. So what we could do is we could essentially take your emails, Josh, and we could basically send these out to the YouTube channel as well as text. Some of the shorter emails with the call to action in there, or we can say the sale expires in so much time. But I don't know of any automated way to do the post part. Maybe there's a tool out there to do it, but yeah, I think that's another medium that we could use.
Sweet.
Yep.
So, all right, Chuck needs to wrap things up.
Okay.
Yeah, sorry, I got people coming over. So.
All right, should we do our thoughts then?
Yes.
Yeah, absolutely.
All right, I'll start.
We need crickets.
I think I got a decent one. So, mine has sort of been like, just like to keep pushing. It's I'm trying to think how to describe it. So like after I came back from the holidays, like I got fat on the cruise ship and just like kind of, made a lot of backwards progress in the, I guess it's like, you sort of, we all have these self-destructive tendencies. And I noticed that I was like in a pattern of self-destruction. And so, but I wanted to do it. I wanted to blow things up.
I've been that's this too. So I'm totally resonating.
At an emotional level, right? You want to blow things up. But at a cognitive level, I'm like, oh, okay, John, this is like little blowing things up, John mode. So we need to like rein him in. It's almost like, I've talked about this about holding the line before, but it's more like, it's like I've been forcing myself to wake up at 5:45 every morning and run my 5 miles, whether I feel like it or not, whether I'm motivated to do it or not, still doing my videos, still making sure that the shit doesn't, because the thing is like, I was comparing this, I did a video on this, so I was comparing it to like Hulk and Bruce Banner. Like, it's like, like right now, like, when you're in that kind of self-destructive phase, it's like you're in Hulk mode and Hulk smash. Yeah. And like your whole job, like what you need to do is stop Hulk from smashing too many things. Because when you wake up on the floor naked and you're Bruce Banner and you look around the room and everything is fucking smashed, it's going to be bad. Like, that's what you want to minimize that as much as possible, because someday you are going to wake up. And I think, the difference between people who actually get ahead and become successful in life and the people who like always like end up blowing up their shit and they never get anywhere is just the difference of what happens when it's Hulk mode, right? It's like how much they can control the Hulk, how much they've set up their environment, they've padded the walls, they've made sure that Hulk can't smash too much, right? Because it's really easy to undo progress, large amount of progress in a shorter period. It takes less time to destroy than it does to create. And so, so I've been just kind of focusing this week on like, okay, hold the line. Don't let Hulk smash too much. Yes, you might be in Hulk mode right now, but you're eventually going to wake up and be Bruce Banner. So like, let's think about that. And, you're either going to wake up and you're going to be like, oh man, I'm glad that like not too much, I didn't make much progress, but didn't do too much damage. I can take it from here. Or you're going to be like, oh shit. You're just gonna look around and look at the destruction, and when you go down that mode, then it just becoms, it's harder and harder and harder to like get the motivation again, because so you want to prevent that from happening. It's so much to losing ground is not losing ground is victory. So
nice. Been going through that with my keto stuff. Hulk donuts.
I think mine is just so I think I mentioned on the last show just how I was feeling kind of a little bit discouraged and just not really sure, just not very motivated, right? And so one thing that helped me a lot this week was to set myself a short-term goal of like, because now that we're rolling on over Christmas we got our first I got my first Christmas bonus from Simple Programmer, which was awesome. And so I realized that for right now, one thing is enough to keep me kind of motivated is setting a quarterly goal for myself. Like, here's what I think I think I can hit this for a bonus, like this is a stretch. And then I can break that down to a monthly. Now I know I have a monthly income target that I need to hit for the business, like with these affiliate offers and everything. Or, I basically, I need to generate X dollars per month above our baseline in order to hit my quarterly bonus target. So, just for me, having that measure, like I really thrive when I've got some kind of really measurable target that I'm going after. And so figuring out what I could do there has helped me kind of get back in the game.
Nice. Very cool. Yeah, that's kind of the premise of the 12-week year, where you plan out your quarter and you say, this is what we've got to get done, and you set those targets and you figure out how to reach them. For me, a lot of the last week or so has just been around this 4 steps to business success that I've been doing with Scott Beebe. And what's been really positive about it is that a lot of this stuff is stuff that I knew I needed to do, but I didn't know how to do it. I didn't know, specifically how to pull it all together. And then the other thing is that when I did try it, sometimes it didn't work and I didn't know why. And so, overall, I guess my main thought is go find somebody that knows how to do this crap and have them help you. It's, I think that the other part of this thought, or the other half of this, is that, I'm good at programming and I spend a bunch of time learning the skills to do programming, but business is another set of skills. And a lot of people treat it as something that you should just automatically somehow know how to do. And that's just not realistic. It's another set of skills. And so just like I had mentors and help in learning how to program, and, I went on the internet and learned stuff, and, when I'm doing the same thing now with business, sometimes you still need that mentorship or coaching. And so if there's something specific that you need, go find somebody that's good at it that can help you figure it out. And specifically, so last year I hired Jamie Masters, eventualmillionaire.com. And she was really good at like the high level stuff, and then helping you, figure out into the weeds. And she had processes for a lot of this stuff, but she kind of coaches people about all kinds of areas of business. Mm-hmm. And for me, I needed somebody who would actually sit me down and walk me through the fundamentals. Mm-hmm. And in particular, it wasn't just you need money to come in and you need to make less money go out, and that's what profit is. Right. Or in Profit First, you pull the profit out and then just work with whatever you have left. But the thing that I really needed was somebody who specifically had a plan and a program for, here's how you hire people, here's how you build a team, here's how you manage the team, here's how you get things done, here's how you do your planning. And when I run into these snags, or I feel like I'm not nailing it in this particular area, I have somewhere to go, so I can say, hey, I did my team meeting. I want everybody on my team to kind of catch the vision of what I'm doing. How do I make sure that they're getting the vision? And so, of course, I got feedback from Scott and from Jonathan, who works with him. And, okay. And it's, here's how you do it, and give me a call if you need more help. And so, I'm following the plan. I'm following the program. I know what I'm doing. I know where I'm going to wind up. And I have somebody along the way that I can go to that I know does this stuff and teaches people this stuff day in and day out. So I can ask them a question in a second nature for them to know the answer. So, it doesn't mean that Jamie was a bad coach or even a bad coach for the time that I needed her. I learned a ton working with Jamie last year, and I feel like it set me up to really capitalize on what I'm getting from Scott this year. And I'm probably going to go back to Jamie next year or the year after and do coaching again with her for another year once I have the fundamentals in place and we can kind of take it up a level and operate at this level, which is where I think her sweet spot is. So anyway.
I don't get why you had to call Jamie a bitch, though.
You're gonna get me in trouble, John, for something that I didn't even do. Oh man. Yeah, it's the EntreProgrammers Mandy thing all over again. Here we go, folks.
Chuck's just trying to get some traction, create some drama. We gotta let Hulk loose in his life. So
John smashed Chuck live.
Oh man.
But yeah, I have to say, John, your thought was pretty germane to some of the stuff that I've been dealing with lately. It's like, why am I sabotaging this?
Mm-hmm.
And yeah, it's because, you know, I have that urge. I don't, you know, anyway.
Yeah,
and it's not.
That's the hilarious thing about it, is that you actually want to do it. It's like, it's not even like you don't want to do it. It's like, it's, oh man, it's bizarre.
Yeah. Well, and it's, you know, it's like, oh, well, I'm freaking tired and I feel bad. So yeah, I want to blow something up. And the things that I have the button to blow stuff up is my own stuff, which is really stupid.
Exactly.
Oh. All right, guys. Well,
don't blow anything up till next
don't
week.
blow anything up.
Yes, sir.
All right.
I'll save it for next week.
All right. See you
All
guys.
right. See ya.
Bye.
Wanna start a business, but you just know how to code. Listen to John, Josh, and Derek as we figure it out. We are the EntreProgrammers, and we'll teach you straight up to be developers.